Okay, so it's finally time for a review of the Paper 7 from Harbor Innovations. It's an RLCD tablet that you can use instead of e-ink with the same benefits. But I've seen in some comments and dislikes on the videos about this RLCD tablet that I don't think my followers are understanding what it is, because I think they think it's a normal tablet, a normal LCD tablet, an Android tablet or so. But I want to explain before I do the review of the Paper 7 what RLCD really is, and that is a real competitor to e-ink. E-ink is a company that has monopoly on e-ink technology today, and RLCD tries to compete on that, and they compete in the same area, and that is eye comfort. You get the same eye comfort on an RLCD tablet like the Paper 7, but with a huge benefit, and that is speed. You can use it exactly the same as a normal tablet. It has the same speed as your normal iPhone, iPad, Android phone or an Android tablet, so you can watch videos, you can play games, and you can use any app whatsoever on an RLCD tablet. So the huge benefit is the speed you get. No lag, no ghosting, no whatsoever. And you get the benefit from e-ink with eye comfort. RLCD doesn't have any backlight, so it doesn't shine up to you in your eyes when using it. It doesn't have any backlight whatsoever. So in the Paper 7 case, you need to have an external light to be able to see anything on the display whatsoever. So the huge benefit is when you're using it outside in direct sunlight. You can also read on it if you're near a window, so you get daylight on the tablet itself, or if you have really great lighting inside, so you have a really good reading lamp, for example, then RLCD tablets are excellent. I know there is some tablets that is coming now that has a front light, exactly as an e-ink readers nowadays has a front light that shines down on the tablet itself instead of in your eyes, so you get same light as on any e-ink e-reader today. But the Paper 7 doesn't have that, so you need to add your own light to it. I know that some people prefer e-ink devices without front light, so they will use it without front light in the exact same way as you do with an RLCD tablet. You need to add your own light. So here, for example, you see 3 different devices. You see an e-ink e-reader, you see the Paper 7 RLCD tablet, and you also see a Next Paper device, the XP Pen Magic Notepad. And that has a Next Paper normal LCD display. And you can clearly see here that the e-ink device, the e-reader, has an excellent display outside in direct sunlight, but also the RLCD tablet has a quite good display outside in direct sunlight, so you can easily use it outside. The more light you have, the better the display will be. You also see that it gets a quite metallic background when reading, and that could maybe be annoying for some readers because it has a very metallic background below the text. But you can also use the dark mode in an app, so you have a black background with silver text instead of silver background with black text. This is something you need to get used to, but to me it looks quite good when reading, so I think that is more than enough compared to an iPhone, iPad, Android tablet, Android phone. You can hardly see anything on the display in direct sunlight on those devices, but you can on an RLCD tablet. So hopefully I have explained for you the benefits of RLCD now, and also why it's a competitor to e-ink, and it has the same idea on how you should use a device with excellent eye comfort. The benefits is that you should not get ill by using the device, and RLCD tablet is trying to be better for the human, for the user, so you can read with real pleasure. You can scroll your social networks if you prefer on an RLCD tablet, and maybe that is the biggest drawback with an RLCD tablet. That is that you can use any app on it. So an e-reader usually is made for just reading, but an RLCD tablet you can use for anything. But let's further ado, here is my Paper 7 review. So here is the Paper 7 from Harbor Innovations. Let's start it up. I need to have some pin code. So here we have the homepage that I have for this tablet, and as you can see, I have Gmail there, I have YouTube Studio, I have Co-Reader. Wow, how good Co-Reader is on this tablet, actually, really good. And I have Storytel, and that is the app I use most to read books in. And here we have Book Fusion too. So, what's the good thing with the Paper 7 then? Well, we start with the design. I think this design is incredibly good. It's only 5.5 millimeter thick, and that is amazing. I think that is the thinnest device I have ever used, actually. I don't have any thinner than this. And it has an excellent backside, as I said in the unboxing video. It is a leathery backside. It feels so nice to hold. And very, very good, no slippery and so on. One thing I would recommend is that they add this bezel on this side too, because it feels really nice to hold it like this when reading. I would rather have it like this on this side too. But yes, you can turn it like this if you prefer when reading. That is no problem whatsoever. So maybe that is just me that I think you should do on it. So as I said, you can do this and read like this. So you actually don't need two huge bezels on the sides if you prefer to rotate your device. And it's very, very light. You can hardly feel it when you're holding it. It's so light. I think it's around 170 grams or so. I don't remember, but it doesn't matter because it feels so light in your hand. So light. And I think this size, 7.8 inch, is the perfect size for ebook reading, actually. I have the AI Paper Mini here too. It has 8.3 inch display, and I think that display is also quite good. So they are very near each other in size. So I think I prefer this size over any other e-readers I have tried when it comes to the size of the display. And it has an excellent build quality. You can feel that this is quality. I mean, everywhere you have every detail perfectly attached on this. You can actually see that it is quality when you are using this. You can see that immediately when you are unboxing this. And as I've already said, this is very fast, smooth and responsive. It's no lag whatsoever. It starts apps immediately. You can start Storytel here and it starts immediately. You can scroll on it really fast, even as this app is quite heavy because it has animations and everything. It's very, very, very fast and responsive. As I said, it's actually exactly the same speed as you get on an iPhone, iPad or an Android tablet or an Android phone. So that's why you have the excellent speed. And as I said before, you see here, when starting a book like this, you see how metallic the backside is. But I have get used to it, and I think it looks great reading on this metallic backside actually. And as I said, if you have dark background instead. You can have silver text like this. You see how beautiful it looks. You don't get this good dark mode on any e-ink e-reader. I can already tell you. You can't get as good dark mode on any e-ink e-reader. You see how good this works. This is beautifully, this is really awesome actually. So that is nice. And as I said, it doesn't have any front light, it doesn't have any backlight, so you don't have any settings for the light really. You don't have any brightness to set, you don't have any warm light to set, because you need to have the light in the room instead. So if you have warm light in your bedroom, for example, you get warm light on the display, if you know what I mean. And you can easily watch YouTube or whatsoever on this. It's very easy. Here we have YouTube, and as you hear, the speaker is not the best. This is max. RLCD display. That means that this display needs. So the speaker is not so good on this, but you can easily use Bluetooth headphones or speakers or whatsoever. So that's really nice. But as you see, it depends on how much light you have. It gets dark. My face is quite dark, as you see. RLCD technology is like this. It's depending on the light in the room. But as you see, YouTube works with no lag whatsoever, and it's great to have this option when having an RLCD tablet. The battery life on this is okay, I can say. It's not the greatest and not the worst either, because it doesn't have any front light or backlight. It gets better battery life than normal tablets or iPhones and iPads or whatsoever, but it still uses battery for the CPU, for example. It uses battery to have the refresh rate 60 Hz that this tablet has, and so on. So the difference between an e-ink device is that when you have a book open like this, an e-ink device doesn't drain the battery whatsoever because it uses this as a still image, but this tablet needs to use battery life to update the display 60 times every second. So that is the difference between e-ink and this when it comes to battery life. So once again, I think the battery life is more than enough for this tablet. I think with heavy use I can use it for 3 days. With normal usage a week is probably possible. But think about this, if you install apps like email and Reddit and have a lot of notifications and all that, it will also drain the battery during the night when you are not using it, because it will update your email and so on every time. So that will drain the battery. So if you stick to only, for example, reading apps on this and doesn't have any other else apps on this, the battery life will be much better. But for me, as a heavy user, I have used this exclusively since I got it, then I get the battery for about 3 days on this before I need to charge it. And that is much better than my iPhone, iPad, or Android tablets, or even some e-ink devices. I have the books devices or Big Me devices that drains the battery the same as this, so not a huge difference there. And as I already said, it's really great to read on this when it comes to eye comfort. It has no blue light whatsoever. That is what Harborinno says, at least. I haven't measured it because I don't know how to do that. But it doesn't have any blue light, it doesn't have any backlight. It has some glare, as you see here. Yes, it has, and much of the reflections are gone because this display from Harborinno, they had some matte protector on and so on, so you remove a lot of glare and reflections on it, but it has that. So if you have a reading lamp, for example, above this, maybe you will see the reading lamp in the display depending on how you have angled and have the lamp on from above, if you know what I mean. So you will see some glare and reflections on this. It's the technology that needs light that makes that a bit reflective, if you know what I mean. But this tablet has really great viewing angles. Viewing angles. I can't show you that on this video because you also need to have great light. But if you have this outside, for example, then you can watch it from the side really good and so on, because you have the sunlight from above everywhere, if you know what I mean. So it has really good viewing angles, really. RLCD tablets have got some negative reviews about the bad viewing angles, but I think they are confusing that with the lighting conditions. So if you're inside here in my studio, for example, it have the best viewing angles when I have my studio light above it like this. But if I do this, for example, with no light from the side, then it gets darker, of course. So I think they are confusing that with the lighting condition inside when doing their videos, for example. So it has really great viewing angles, really. Another great benefit with this is that it has quite fast charging. You can charge this from 0 to 100% around 1 hour, and I think that's great. It's okay at least, so I think fast charging on this works great. And now we come to the negative stuff about the Paper 7, and we can start with fingerprints. It's easily get fingerprints all over the display when using this. I think that's the same problem with an iPhone, iPad, Android phone, Android tablet. So compared to e-ink, this gets a lot more dirtier and get more fingerprints than e-ink devices. At least you see them easier on this than you see them on an e-ink reader. So that is a negative thing with this. And of course the biggest drawback with this is that it doesn't have any front light, of course. I would rather see this have a front light attached on it when they deliver this, because if it has a front light exactly as an e-ink e-reader, then you can use that front light when you need it, when you don't have any good light inside, for example. If you don't sit with a reading lamp or whatsoever. Exactly the same as you do with an e-reader, e-ink e-reader. So you add your front light, you turn on front light on your e-reader when you need it inside. So you can compare this with the same as a color e-reader that always need to have some front light on to be able to use it comfortably inside. So Kaleido 3 color e-reader, e-ink e-reader has the same problem as this. It needs light. So if they add a front light on this, it would be 100% perfect device for ebook reading. I can assure you that. So if this would have front light, this would be a perfect e-reader. But now it doesn't, so you need to add your own external lighting wherever you want to use this. So that is the biggest drawback with it, of course. But if you can live with that, if you have excellent lighting inside, if you read a lot outside and so on, this is not a problem. One problem I noticed when I used this outside in direct sunlight, very hot outside it was then too, but that was that this device got warm, really warm actually on the back here and so on. I think it was very warm compared to an e-book, e-ink e-reader. It was very warm compared to them because they are not warm at all. But this got quite warm in direct sunlight when it was hot outside. So that is something you need to note. And as I already said, it has a quite terrible speaker actually, but I think this device is not meant to use a speaker because you see how thin it is. You see the speaker there. So this device should be used with headphones or an external Bluetooth speaker or something. Is my recommendation. One huge drawback is that you have in the settings, you have settings for the display, but if you try to do settings for the display, it crashes. You see here, it crashes the settings up, and that is because an RLCD display doesn't have the same settings as normal LCD displays. So that is why. But I would have recommended them to remove that option somehow in the settings up instead of having that there still. And also one drawback with that is that you can't set how long time you want to have the display before it goes to sleep. As you see all the time in this video it goes to sleep. I would rather have that for 1 minute or 2 minutes or so instead of having just seconds before it goes to sleep. But I can't set that anywhere in the settings. So that is something I think this device needs. It needs settings to set how long the display should be before it goes to sleep and so on. I also want to have you see now it goes to sleep without me wanting it. So I would also have want a setting to have when it goes down into deep sleep mode after 1 or 2 days or so. I want this to automatically go to deep sleep as for example Big Me devices or Onyx Books devices have settings for. I would rather have that on this too, but it doesn't. Another thing that is not the greatest is that I would love to have a fingerprint sensor here instead of only the pin code. Now I need to set up so I have the pin code all the time instead of just have a fingerprint sensor as, for example, my AI Paper Mini has a fingerprint sensor. So that was something I would rather see on this device too. And this device comes with a stylus as an option when you buy it. By the way, you can see links down below where you can buy this and read more about it, of course. But you can buy this as an option with a stylus, and this comes with a stylus. I have used it a bit, but let's say it's no Wacom stylus. It's a stylus that you need to charge, but the battery life is quite long, so you don't need to charge it so often. And yes, it's no Wacom, but it's more than enough for just simple, quick notes that you do, but you can't draw with it so much maybe, and you can't do any longer pieces of writing as easily and so on, but it's more than enough for quick notes. But let's say once again, this AI Paper Mini has a lot better stylus, Wacom stylus, and it's a lot better for typing, writing, drawing, whatsoever. So this device should not be note-taking first, it should be e-reader first, in my opinion. To summarize all the benefits and drawbacks with it, I think the biggest thing is that it actually needs a front light to be usable all the time. Otherwise it will be hard to use it inside. Some people maybe always reads in the same place, for example a couch with a great reading lamp, then it could be perfect to have also inside. But many people like me need reads everywhere, maybe in the sofa, maybe in the bed, and so on. And then I need to have excellent lighting conditions everywhere to be able to read on this. So it definitely needs a front light. I think that is most of the thing in my review. But to summarize even more is now we come to the biggest question really. Why? Why would we buy this instead of a great e-ink e-reader? Well, two things maybe, and that is the speed. You get excellent speed, perfect speed, no lag, no ghosting, no whatsoever when having this. But when do you need speed? Well, it's not for ebook reading you need speed. Yes, it's excellent that you can turn pages really fast and so on, and have no ghosting problems whatsoever. That's really great. But actually, the speed is not the biggest problem with e-ink e-readers. I think if you only use your device for reading, then the RLCD tablet is maybe not the best option. Then maybe it's better to buy an e-ink e-reader. But if you want to have a tablet that is excellent eye comfort for ebook reading, that you also want to have for everything else you do, as you do on your phone, for example. If you want to have it for banking, if you want to have it for email, if you want to have it for social networks, watching YouTube videos, reading Reddit or whatsoever, then this device could be an option for you. I think this device could be excellent for you if you want one device that do everything for you. Even the camera on this is great to have, because the camera is more than enough to memorize stuff for your memories and take memories over big, nice viewings over nature or your children or your wife or whatsoever. This is an excellent camera for that. So you can do basically everything you do on your phone on this, and you can also read with excellent eye comfort. I think that could be the selling point for RLCD tablets. So the biggest question is why? Why should you buy this? I think I have answered that question in this video actually. Please like this video and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need more subscribers to do that. Okay, bye.